Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your tarot card reading for April 2024. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. Welcome to April 2024, which is a very big month astrologically. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at both the tarot predictions and mix it with a lot of astrology here for you. So as you are choosing which sign to watch, you may want to start off with your sun sign or your rising sign. And if you would like to have that third perspective, your moon sign is also quite beneficial as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into the reading, and I'll see you guys in just a sec. Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to your April reading. Let's go ahead and get started with an animal spirit card. So what is it that Aquarius needs to know for the month of April? Use your mind wisely. Okay. We got a lot going on astrologically, right? We have this big eclipse happening on April 8th in Aries. That goes hand in hand with the Mercury retrograde, also in Aries. But we also have this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. For you, Uranus and Jupiter are in your fourth house, which is a really fundamental house. Okay, there's a lot of pretty much every area of your life can be connected back to this fourth house, because this is where so many things come from. It's our childhood, it's past lives, it's our healing, it's our inside world, our private life, our home life, right? It's such a, it truly is the root system, this fourth house. So when you are going through a big transit like Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in that location, probably a lot of other areas of your life are either currently undergoing change or you really, really want to experience changes. And I know change is really generic, but it's really change for the sake of freedom, right? Financial freedom or freedom from a particular circumstance that you have, you know. But when this card comes out that says use your mind wisely, there are a lot of choices that are placed in front of us when we feel these significant urges for change. Because it's like, all right, you want change, well, then you have to change the choices. You have to change the energy with which you bring into the things that you are investing in. And you have to choose the things that are ultimately best, even if that's hard. And there has to be willpower. And that really comes from mind power, truly. One thing I love about a Mercury retrograde, regardless of where it's at and regardless of what else is going on, a Mercury retrograde 3 to 4 times a year almost always gives us an opportunity to backtrack and reevaluate, think things through again, and to make pivots. So if there is a certain track that you're on that doesn't really seem to be working, or it doesn't seem to be fitting very well, or it doesn't feel right, you can more easily pivot this month. And you can change course and change your mind. But you also have to understand that your mind is intrinsically connected with your physical body, which of course Aries absolutely represents. So we are really working on this mind-body connection right now, because your mind can pivot all over the place. But can your body keep up with that? Or does your body really want to maintain the status quo and keep everything the way it is? Because if your mind is not controlling your body very well, probably you're not going to be experiencing a lot of changes. This really is about doing different things. All right? And it really can change the entire trajectory of your life, if you want it to. For the moon card, a new romantic cycle begins. Well, this could absolutely mean actual romance for some of you. Maybe there are new prospects available to you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Obviously, this is a general reading. It really could be a partnership or an alliance or working together with someone. And partnership is not necessarily accentuated in your chart. We don't really have a lot of 7th house activity. Well, actually, we don't have anything going on in the 7th house in Leo right now. But it doesn't mean that you can't benefit from specific and well-chosen collaborations. And that's a part of using your mind wisely. Are you associating with the right people? Are you connecting and communicating well? Are you willing to really work with someone? Or do you have that willingness? Do you have that openness? Because the thing with Aries is it is very self-centric. Aries Sun, Aries Mercury retrograde, Aries eclipse, it is very, what do I want? My independence, my autonomy, my decision. I think that there's a lot of demand for that right now. But it doesn't mean that that shouldn't be balanced out with integrating others. Okay? If you are in the market for a romantic relationship, I don't know, I keep coming back to this pig spirit. It feels like, are you gonna continue to use the same methodology over and over, expecting a different result? Or are you going to switch up the methodology with which you attract that which you seek? There has to be a change in the method. There has to be a change in the method. There has to be a change in the action and in the behavior. Otherwise, you won't actually experience change. And all you'll be left with is this massive urge for change, which can ultimately be frustrating. Because then you don't see it. You don't see the changes happening. And it creates greater resistance. Okay? This is the epitome of be the change you seek. You want things to change, you have to change. Okay, well, there might be some romantics. I'm actually really surprised. Inherently, these are not technically romantic cards, but with the word romance coming out, there really, really could be something like that for you guys. You guys know I don't always do like love readings or whatever, because I know that's not what everyone is here for. But it is a big theme in life, and there might be something really turning around for you in that area. Of course, Pluto in your sign, Pluto in the 1st house, it is technically aspecting by opposition the 7th house. So it makes sense then that there's kind of that 7th house quality, that desire for that 7th house stuff. Really, I think this is just Aquarius seeking happiness. When I say happiness, I don't mean the fleeting kind. I mean the sustainable joy and fulfillment that comes with living a life of purpose, of simplicity, living a life that is full of experiences that uplift you. But even here, as much as the lovers, I kind of pulled in the romance a little bit, but it's also a card of choice and communication. Choices, choices, choices. And we all know that choices always have power, always. So regardless of what the stars are doing, that doesn't matter. A good choice is a good choice no matter what. So you make these good choices, the ones that are healthy for you, the ones that progress you with your goals, and the ones that ultimately benefit you and your loved ones. You start making more and more and more of those, and you start to see more and more results and more effects. But it's not easy. There are definitely, I really think Aquarius is going to hit up against some hard stuff. Now, I don't mean that things are going to fall apart. It just means there's going to be some internal challenges. This is also a kind of a card of mind power, right? Because we kind of have the beast, the lion, which represents our ego and our pride, our physical body, that more humanness. And then we have the higher element with the connection with the divine. We all have both. We all have that full spectrum, high to low. But is your higher mind in control of your lower mind? That's the real question. Because the lower mind doesn't want to evolve. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy for that lower aspect of us to evolve. And that's why we have to use that higher mind to connect with that lower part to kind of drag us along. Now, you can do that with a good attitude or a bad attitude. Doesn't really matter as long as you're doing it, I suppose. I mean, it's better with a good attitude. You do it because you know it's best. You know you want it. But it's not easy, and that's why it is related with strength, because it does take courage and bravery, and it does take this kind of inner push in order to change your circumstances. Now, I'm not suggesting that all of you, hate your whole life and you want everything to change. I'm not saying that, but I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of different areas where you're going to want to see improvement over the next several years. And that's really what this this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is all about. And the thing too about this Uranus-Jupiter conjunction is it's not secret. It's not some hidden in your subconscious. It's not down in the deep sub-programming. It's not all like this inaccessible thing. Uranus is very accessible. So when you're talking about the things you want, you're talking about those things with an element of clarity. Right? Yes, I want this. Yes, I see how this could go. Yes, I see myself doing it. But choice is, are you actually doing it? And maybe this romantic cycle card, maybe that's why you need other people. Because when you have the right people around you, it's a lot easier to lift yourself up. Because if you're around people that are on that same track or have that same mindset or they have that same ambition, it makes it more accessible to you. Like, for example, I follow this kid on TikTok. He's like a really skinny kid, super skinny, right? And he wants to bulk up and go to the gym. So he's going to the gym every single day. He's even joining like competitions and stuff. And it's really inspiring to see, because here he is with all these jacked up guys, with like the giant muscles. And he is this scrawny little guy, but he is building muscle because he is not only being consistent, not only is he actually doing what he says he's going to do, but he has surrounded himself with people that reaffirm to him every single day that it is in fact possible. So, really pay attention to your social circle. Pay attention to those with whom you communicate and those you listen to, because they will either lift you up or tear you down. And the goal is happiness with that 10 of Cups. The goal is to attain that which you seek to attain. And there's the Tower. I'm not surprised. The Tower is an expected event this month. It may not be some big shocking thing, where you uncontrollably have all this stuff happen. I actually think this Tower is really us drawing the line and saying, okay, enough. This is no longer acceptable. This is no longer my status quo. I do not, I don't consent to this anymore. It's like you're revoking of your consent, if you will. And you've really drawn that line in the sand with yourself. And the moment you do that, I look at this Ace of Wands and I see the spark. I see the excitement. I see the enthusiasm. I see the sense of hope and possibility. And I see that spirit starting to churn, because this can really only happen when we stagnate. And I'm not saying every area of your life. I want to keep reiterating that. It's not every area, but it is probably an area that it's becoming a problem, right? It's gone a little too far. It in your bones. And this is the final straw. And that's why your mind power is so essential, because sometimes we will hit this point, start tearing everything down, tearing everything apart, but then we don't take the action to kind of rebuild after. And then we're kind of caught between worlds, and then we stagnate there sometimes in that limbo land. So there does seem to be an immediate deconstruction and an immediate spark of something new. Now, this is just a potential. I always say that with my aces, because we do need to remember that aces take time to grow. They require investment, they require time and energy, they require the right people, they require a part of us, significant part of us, most likely. And astrologically, we see this a lot in Aries. And as we progress through Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, we have this growth period. There's a lot of growth that's going to be happening over the next 3 to 4 months. All right, so we get the spark in Aries. In Taurus, we try to figure out how to get the resources together to achieve this. And then it goes through a brainstorming phase in Gemini. And then we have to feel our way through it in Cancer. And when we hit Leo, that's usually when we actually start doing something with this. So when I say immediately, I don't necessarily mean in April. 5 months is really not that long. This will require a percolating period, as I see with the Hanged Man. There's going to be this period of processing that has to go on. But I promise you, this spark is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. And it's just going to get bigger. It's just going to get louder. It's going to get more pronounced. And it's going to require more mind power and more self-control and more determination, because it's hard to build something from just a little seed. It takes a tremendous amount of power for that seed to sprout. This is a very mature situation that's been going on for a long, long time. You can deconstruct that easily, right? Deconstruction is a lot easier than growing. So just understand that there is a process underway. And as much as you're going to get excited about this, give yourself time to go through what you need to go through in order for this to truly be sustainable. Because one of the tricky things about Aries season is it is so impulsive, it is so creative, it is so passionate that sometimes we just want to just jump in and commit and connect to something so quickly. And we're like, okay, yes, this is it. This is my new life. Boom. But it doesn't have, like, Aries in and of itself doesn't have sustainability. So we need to give things time, because that's not, like, Aries is the starting line. It is not the finish line. I kind of point that out in everyone's reading this month. Okay, it's not the finish line. And this is a marathon, not a sprint, even though all the astrological events, eclipse, Aries, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter, Uranus, even though all of these things are going to make you think it's a sprint. This is where you have to use your mind wisely to understand that it's not, and to have that sense of control. Okay? And to slowly integrate the new behaviors and the new actions that need to occur in order for this to last. Because this is something you want. This, I think, aligns beautifully with your 10 of Cups. But you don't want this to come in and fade out quickly, which it has the potential to do if you're not in it for the long haul, if you're in it just for instant gratification purposes. If you think this is going to be a quick fix, you would be wrong. It's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be snap your fingers and everything is going to be different. Okay? See, even the Hermit says there's a process. This is a Virgo card. This is also a Pisces card. Virgo is like digestion. It has to go through a process. It is not something that just appears, okay? And there's a period of mastery that goes on as well. There's a period of learning that goes on. Beautiful. I love the aces. Absolutely love it. Goes hand in hand with the Ace of Wands. And actually, I love when the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups come out together, because it usually is something that feels really good, feels really right. And it feels like, I mean, maybe there is love in the air for some of you. I really will not take that off the table. If it is actually love, if it is a new romantic cycle, whether with a brand new person or if you're kind of starting fresh with someone that you've been in a relationship with for a long time, you know, like I say, it's not about quick fixes. It's not about, oh, okay, well, we're just going to fall in love real quick and make this happen, or, oh, we're going to change every problem we've ever had. Obviously, it's not going to be like that, but I think the desire to evolve truly is there, and the desire to integrate someone is truly there too. You know, and because you're going into it from that place and that mindset and that energy, the likelihood of it succeeding is pretty high. And I think the other person, if there is another person involved, could also be feeling that too, right? But I also know that Aquarius doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes with this Hermit card, because there is an element of perfection here. And that's why, like, to sit and think things through, but when I say think things through, I don't mean overthink, and I don't mean to stress out or to indulge in anxiousness. What I mean is, if you know that there is something that a goal requires, and there are certain actions and certain patterns that must be adopted, and sometimes it's a little too much to do all of it all at once. That is not going to be sustainable change for most of you. Most people, now it depends on your personality, right? But most people don't just wake up one morning and then everything is different. Most of the time, we just change one little thing at a time. And I think that's really what these cards are asking you to do, not to eat the whole enchilada all at once, just little bites, because you need it to be digestible. That's how you're going to accomplish this mastery. Okay? Like the gym example, that skinny kid that is going to the gym every day, he's not going and trying to like deadlift 600 pounds, right? He's starting off with some 25s and working his way up, and slowly but surely he's doing it. That's the element of mastery. Because we're not trying to go into this to make more mistakes. We're trying to go into this to improve. And what I love about the Seven of Coins, and actually this goes beautifully with not only a Mercury retrograde, but also Mars coming into conjunction with Saturn for the first little bit of April there. The first week and a half, Mars and Saturn come conjunct in Pisces. Now, Seven of Coins is just really matter of fact. Looks at what is, goes down the balance sheet. All right, this is what we've got to work with. This is the money. This is the situation. This is where I'm at. It is not emotional. This is not an emotional time. Now, you may have emotions. Mars is still in Pisces after all. We do have an eclipse happening. So, I mean, you will have emotions like a normal human being, but this process is not an emotional one. It's not emotionally driven. I think when you really think about your tower, it's like, okay, well, that's the most logical thing. We just have to tear this down. We have to pull this out of our habits. We have to stop doing it because it really doesn't serve us anymore. Maybe it did, but it doesn't anymore. It's got to go. Matter of fact, black and white. It just is what it is. You don't have to get weepy about it, because the point is to continue to evolve. It's not the point to keep everything, you know? And what I like too about it is that it's not that you don't have gratitude and appreciation for what has been. Because when you when you're looking at things, you realize how essential certain experiences were in your life, how essential certain identities were to adopt, how essential certain actions were to take. But then again, moving forward, like let's use a money example. You don't necessarily want to use the same tactics. If you're trying to go from 0 to 100,000, you don't use those same tactics to go from 100,000 to 10 million. Or you have to adjust the tactics and adjust the strategy. Otherwise, you're just, it's just not going to make sense. It's not scalable. So you just change the tactics. But because of these aces, I think you're really going to want to change the tactics. That's what's so exciting about this. It's like sometimes you feel like you get dragged into these evolutionary times, and the other times you get to jump in with both feet. And right now I think Aquarius is jumping in with both feet, with positivity, with that enthusiasm, with passion, with vigor. You know, there's a spice behind it a little bit. And because of that, the likelihood of you succeeding is really high. Okay? So let's see what comes through with the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new, I'm about to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we're going to talk about these in the comprehensive reading, and the link for that will be found in the description box down below. So let's go ahead here and just get started with the 10 of Cups, with the Moon, Temperance, 2 of Wands. Beautiful. Loving the 8 of Wands there. Oh, 2 of Cups even. Might be some romance. Might be some romance. King of Swords, 8 of Cups, Page of Wands. Tower on top of tower. I think this happened for Capricorn too. Tower on tower, or one of the other signs I recently read for. Means we're going to pull out 4 cards for this. 4 of Cups. And another Lover's card. Beautiful. Hierophant. Ace of Swords. 6 of Cups. Knight of Cups, 5 of Coins, Queen, Seven of Coins again, that time reversed, 2 of Coins, Chariot, ooh, love the Chariot for you, and Strength reversed. Judgment. Interesting that Judgment and the Ace of Swords came out reversed. The Fool, and last but not least, Knight of Swords. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up. So if you want to join, again, all the info is in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you so much, Aquarius. I hope you have an amazing April, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.